Hi, my name is Sharon Sella. I work as a software engineer at Base Consulting, and I'll be talking about the Economic Corridor project. What problem are we trying to solve here? So there are two sides to this problem. Number one is that a lot of countries have invested a lot of money on the building of corridors, that is the transport networks, and also the energy layer on top of it. And the idea was that they were following the old economic models of build it and they will come. Which means that once people see that there's a corridor here, there's water, there's energy, and there's a road, that they will intuitively find ways to maximize the use of this infrastructure. But unfortunately, that has not happened, and we find that there are some corridors that have utilization rates of as low as 50%. That is to mean that you're leaving the other 50% of unutilized potential on the table. The second side of this issue is that there are some countries or regions that lack corridors, and they will massively benefit from these corridors. But the issue here is that Africa is a very resource-constrained continent, and we need a lot of money in terms of billions to invest in these roads, in these energy systems. So the idea here that we're trying to solve is, number one, how do we step away from the build it and they will come framework by being very intentional, very deliberate, very strategic about opportunity identification. And number two, how do we bundle this infrastructure? That is, we don't look at a road as a road, that is the physical layer, but rather how do we put the road, the energy layer on top of it, and also the economic opportunities as one bundle, so that the whole corridor is very attractive to potential funders. So the methodology that we are using to solve this problem is, I think it has 5 steps. Number one is that we are looking at the revealed comparative advantage of each country where the corridor is bypassing. RCA is basically what each country is good at. An example here is that Ghana is really good at cocoa production. Nigeria is really good at petrochemicals. From these sectors or products that you find, the question becomes, what is the next obvious thing to do that has been missed? That is one. So that will lead to the unlocking of new opportunities, or that could be scaled. So it's already happening, but because these guys did not have access to the road and to the energy, that is now the corridor, they could not scale up. Yeah, and of course the third layer of this is de-risking these opportunities in terms of course, water availability, the skill, the labor skills, the technological capacity of these areas. Yeah, so after the revealed comparative advantage and the adjacent product space mapping, of course, we'll have to prioritize the opportunities found. The idea here is that during the product space mapping, we'll find a lot of opportunities, but it makes no sense to have a long list of opportunities that are economically feasibly only on paper, but will not translate to the same economic output in reality. So we'll have to prioritize to maybe the top 20, the top 50 economic opportunities that will have the maximum benefits to these countries and to these regions. A list here that we are planning to follow is, of course, on the availability of raw materials. The second one here is on the demand. Assuming, for example, on the example I had earlier given on cocoa production in Ghana, then the next obvious thing might be that we identify that there's maybe an opportunity for opening up a chocolate factory here. But the question becomes, where is the demand? Where will we sell this chocolate? Is the price of the global market for chocolate, does it make financial sense to invest in a factory here that maybe will cost $1 million to open based on the current prices of these products? The third idea, of course, is in water availability. Of course, because an example here is any idea in agro-processing or even mining or beneficiation, they are heavy. They are dependent on on a lot of water. So we really need to sort out the water availability issue. Of course, the next big thing is on energy availability and reliability. Is it there? And can the current available power meet the demands of the new opportunities that you're trying to unlock or even scale? The fifth layer is logistics. How do we transport the output from this opportunity to the corridor, to the ports, things like that? Because something that eats up profits of products is on logistics. If it's greater than 30% of the total profit margin, then perhaps it does not make sense to go on with that opportunity. That is one side. Or rather, we can tell the government, maybe you should invest more on creating this feeder road, this logistic link between the opportunity and the corridor. The other layer, of course, is on the availability of labor. Do we have the skills here to make this opportunity happen? And an example here is, of course, in the beneficiation of minerals. Assuming we tell these people to open a refinery, but there are no local skills here, what should the government do to enable to capacity build the local community to be able to exploit this opportunity? Of course, the other layer is on the policies, the enabling policies. Do we need to maybe update some policies as the government? Do we need to get regional certifications? Do we need to get global certifications? Yeah, so those are the layers that we'll use in prioritization of opportunities. And of course, the next part is on location identification. So again, most of these opportunities that we'll find are dependent on certain raw materials in the country. So I think an example here is again on the agro processing. Assuming there's an opportunity for creation of an agro processor, we will have to perhaps choose a suitable location or give just an idea or a suggestion on where the government might locate the factory. And of course, here we'll have to look at things like environmental the Asia stuff. Of course, the environmental stuff is this a protected area? Is this even arable land? Does the terrain support this? What about the logistics? Yeah, so we'll need to look at stuff like that. And of course, here we will depend heavily on the geospatial data. And lastly, to make this whole framework into a live real-time data thing, we'll need to look at things like scenario modeling and scenario simulation based on real-time data. This is to mean that we will not stop at the first stage of the data collection. We'll be continuously updating our system with the current information. So an example here is on the influence of maybe demand fluctuations and price volatility on the attractiveness of certain economic opportunities here. So assuming a certain mineral X was really in high demand for the past 20 years, and right now the demand has dropped because maybe we have found an alternative to that mineral that is a bit cheaper. So maybe it will mean that there's no need to continue with this economic opportunity, but rather take that money and invest in another economic opportunity. Yeah, so this is what we're working on right now, and we are looking forward to showcasing it to the world. Thank you.